So generally, this is my last book. It's Spontaneous Creativity, Manifesting Your Positive Qualities. And this book is based on ancient tradition in Tibet, and particularly in the Burn tradition, particularly a cycle of teaching called Dzogchen, Great Perfection. So in very simple, in order to manifest spontaneously in our life, anything we do, one of the most core, deep obstacle is the effort, right? How many of you put a lot of effort in your life? Trying hard, trying to do everything hard, right? So, but the effort, yeah, thank you. So effort is not helpful, for sure. And also in this ancient Dzogchen meditation system, effort is the most obstacle for meditation also. Like, for example, when you are meditating, they say the best meditation you can have without the meditator. When there's meditator saying, I'm meditating, I'm pretty good. Or I'm meditating, I'm not good. So either you're good or bad, both are bad. So whenever there is a self who is trying to do something, this is always the issue. So spontaneous basically means it's always deep inside, it addresses the pain identity. So that's the whole, you can say Dharma teaching is about, obstacle and the blockages of any creative ideas is. I wanted to start with a little story that a student of mine told me. He said during one of the Christmas holiday season, he was getting very stressed out, unhappy, lot of work. He owns few businesses, big family. And then he began to think, I'm a very unlucky person. I'm unhappy, unlucky, too much to do, life is miserable. And that's what he was having experiences. And then certainly he realized that maybe all these are my experiences. Maybe it doesn't have to be like that. And then he took some deep breathing. Basically, he took some deep breathing and rest. Resting is the most important key here. He rests a little bit, rests deeper, connected to himself, then relook at the situation again. Then he discovered that I am the luckiest person. Suddenly, everything has shifted. I'm the luckiest person on the earth because I do have a businesses. Before, business was a problem. Now he began to look, I do have a business. Many people don't even have a business. They don't even earn money, right? I have a business. I have a big family, and the family love me, and family are coming to visit me during holiday season. So I'm the very lucky person. So from one moment, very unlucky, unhappy person to another moment, very happy and luckiest person. He shifted the whole idea. So how did he shift the whole idea? Is basically identity that he have, that's something that he's identifying with the stressful, too much work, too many people are coming to visit me. I'm not sure I want all of them to visit me or not. So basically, shift of identity is what happened there. And the shift of identity is what we want to happen every given moment when we are blocked in our creative ideas, creative projects. So that's I think the core is a story. But as a practical aspect, I wanted to maybe say 5 things that hopefully that everybody can apply this in everyday life, in your life. So anytime that when you are doing something, a creative project, for example, in this moment in your life, whatever you're doing, so I want everybody to think about that, right? I know you're listening to me, but I want to look at in your life, see what you are trying to do in your life this moment, which is very important, but you are facing challenges. Think about that. And also think about that, how much you're trying, how hard you're trying. And maybe in the process, maybe you're blaming somebody. It's somebody else's fault, otherwise everything will be very spontaneous, creative, right? So you begin to think about, or blaming yourself. So think about how much effort has been put it by a specific sense of identity who is wanting to do best, who wanted to do, have success. Some sense of I is trying so hard. Just for a moment, trying to recognize that. The moment when you're recognizing that, use a very simple breathing exercise, which is in our tradition, we call internal life force Salung exercise, long name. Internal basically means you're not moving your body or anything like that. So it's just internal, but still it's related with breath. So I want everybody to do this while I'm speaking. Is breathe deep in and hold in this heart chakra. And while you're holding it, bring your full, open, clear attention to this place. Physically, this location, as a breath-wise, this location. And then when you cannot hold anymore, just gently breathe it out. Until to the last, just breathe it out. And when you breathe it out, in that last exhalation, just rest there, like a connecting to the ground of inner sacred space. Repeat again. Just try 3 times. So when you're trying these 3 times, I'm talking about this something that everyday life you might be helpful to apply. In relation to the self-pain identity, which is trying to put a lot of effort, trying to do something good in the world, but facing challenge. The moment you face challenge, you do this breathing 3 times. Once you breathe this out, and then when you look at inside, there is a little bit more a restful place. A little more a place of grounding, place of stillness, a little more place of silence, more quiet, a little bit more peaceful. Space opens up a little bit more from where you might, we say, discovering a new wisdom eyes from that sacred space. You find a new glasses, new eyes to look differently, like this person. Then you look at again to the same situation that you're facing challenge. You begin to see it differently. Even it could be slight shift, but it will be different. And that moment is a good moment to look what you're trying to do. Because sometimes we get so much confused with our stories, karmic stories, old family pain stories, our stories of our fear, wounds, past. And we get mixed up with what we're really trying to do. Maybe what you're really trying to do might be very simple. You're trying to be happy, or you're trying to just connect with somebody, or you're trying to love somebody. Simple as that. But then you tell a long story trying to do that, and then everything gets confused. So once you find a little bit more sacred space in yourselves, more clear place, more clear eye, wisdom eye, you look at what is you're trying to do. Okay, one good example, I'm simply trying to love this person. I'm simply trying to connect with this person. I'm simply trying to be helpful to my aging parent, dying parents. I'm simply trying to help this project move forward in a company. So whatever it is, come to a very simple, clear mission place, okay? So that's the kind of having more clear idea. Once you see that clear idea, sit with that for a little moment. With the stillness, I always say sit with that, with a little bit more feeling of stillness in your body. I can feel that this moment here, right? All of your this sense of stillness in your body. You, from that place, you look at that. Then also this sense of silence, of feeling quiet, peaceful, but not sleepy. You're clearly looking at what you're trying to do. You see it clearly. You see more clearly. And then you feel calm. You see clear. Then maybe you look at clearly, see what is the obstacle? What is blocking me? Underlying, what is the effort, underlying emotion, effort, pain, identity, which is trying so hard, not succeeding it? So what that identity is. And where this identity is manifesting. Like if I look at in my body, maybe the moment I am in that situation, in that conversation, in that project, I begin to tense my body. I begin to contract my body in different areas in my body. Maybe in my heart is shrinking down. Maybe my pattern of my breath is no longer is smooth, deep. It shortens the breath. My mind is immediately conditions limited. This imagination began to stop. There's a limitation in my imagination. So it's just shrinking, body is shrinking, breath is shrinking, my mind is shrinking. Recognize that. Don't think about the project. Don't think about anybody. Just feel these experiences of blockages, or what I call pain body, pain speech, pain mind, which is manifesting in you. Be aware of them. Clearly be aware of them. So something is happening in you all the time, but most of the time we disconnect. We are not even conscious. We don't try to connect it. We don't try to work with it. We don't try to process it. We don't try to clear it. We leave it and jump away and we go somewhere else, create more fantastic, distorted stories. And it doesn't work. So in this moment, when you recognize these blockages, what do you do now? So what you do is actually what you should not do, what usually you do. Okay? Maybe let's say first, what you don't do is what usually you do. Ignoring it, suppressing it, running away from it, creating other stories. Just forget about all those things, right? No stories. No stories. What you do is just one word, I say host. Host these pain blockages, which is manifesting in your body, in your breath, in your mind, or even underlying emotions, some deep sense of self that you finally having some glimpse or connection to it. Just recognize that. Host that. Accommodate that. Welcome that. Get excited to know about it. Get excited to help, care for it. So like a good host, you just welcome, embracing it. Like a mother holding a crying baby who is in need for loving care from the mother. Your inner pain is in need. Your inner pain identity is in need of recognition from you, acknowledgement from you. That's what is lacking, that connection. Less you reconnect, more you become distant, more crazy it becomes, like a child. A child crying, why? I remember one time myself, I fell down from the hill down, and I cried loud, and I'm trying to see if anybody's paying attention to me, and nobody's paying attention to me. Then I just stopped crying. But if somebody was paying attention, especially my mom, then I would be crying louder so that I can get my love from her, attention from her. So the same way, in some sense, inside ourselves, this pain identity, it needs that. Because it wanted to be free, it wanted to process that. So what you do here is host. Okay, host. So like a mother. So I am aware of that identity, connecting, I'm feeling it, I'm in presence with it. And traditionally, we say observe with naked awareness, which means no story. Hold. If you do this for some period, some point, it will dissolve. You'll be surprised. It will dissolve. And when it dissolves, it comes to a more clear place. So you find a more clear place in yourself. A place which you never saw before, which you never had before, or which you maybe never recognized before. If you cultivate that new space, new sacred space, some point, without doing anything, spontaneously, positive quality will arise from there. Like joy. Just suddenly, I'm happy. I'm not trying to be happy. I'm not trying to convince somebody to be happy. I'm trying to asking somebody to give me something to be happy. But I am happy because I am in that clear, sacred space in my heart. In that space, in the particular that quality of love, when time comes, when that quality is mature enough, then it manifests. That is a love that you can manifest. That's manifesting your positive quality is that love which is coming from right space, not wrong space, not from pain, not from fear. Most of the experiences of loves are based on dependency, fear, need. It's like if people begin to say, I love you more when they begin to separate. It's a fear-based love, right? It's not love, it's a fear, but it's manifesting under names. So that love is very different. The love, this manifests from that sacred space. So manifesting positive quality from that space. So I hope this short explanation, or I say practical wisdom, I hope sometime you will remember when moment is useful for you, okay? Thank you so much.